Hi, good evening. Welcome to Business Live. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us tonight. Coming up, UK starts applying tariffs on exports from Ghana today. Following Brexit, we hear why local firms are worried they'll become less competitive. Ghana to commemorate start of trading under the Continental Free Trade Agreement on Tuesday. Ahead of that, assurances that unresolved operational issues will be tackled. And as the president announces new protocols at the airports to control spread of new COVID-19 strain, we figure out how this would impact on air travel further. Thanks for being with us. Details right after this break. The UK government has started applying tariffs on exports from Ghana today. Now, this is despite an earlier agreement to waive the charges due to ongoing discussions to finalize a bilateral trade deal. Joy Business understands that tariffs were applied this morning when goods from Ghana arrived in London today. Some local firms have said that this will end up making them less competitive, a development that will affect their market share. I'll be speaking with George Poe, who is Corporate Affairs Manager at banana exporting firm Golden Exotics. First, this report on UK's U-turn on an initially agreed tariff waiver.
Last Friday, the Trade Minister Alain Tremantin and his UK counterpart Les Truss initiated an interim agreement, or call it consensus. This is expected to ensure that exports from Ghana to the UK market will not attract any extra tariffs. The move was to allow the two countries to finalize talks and a new bilateral trade agreement between the two countries. However, in a surprise move, the UK government went back to amend the statement covering the interim agreement, saying that the engagement with the Ghanaian government is still ongoing and the pact will not be in place come January 1, 2021. This should mean that the trade terms between the two countries will be supervised by the World Trade Organization rules, meaning that tariffs will be applied on all exports to UK market as well as the same to the Ghanaian market. But for the Ghanaian firms that export to the UK market, this will make their goods and products expensive compared to their peers, thereby making them less competitive. The move has forced some of these firms in Ghana to cut down on their exports, a move that will lead to some layoffs and even possible shutdown of their business here in Ghana. This is because these manufacturing firms are yet to fully recover from the shocks of COVID-19 on their operations. The quota-free duty-free deal has kept most of these firms in operations for a long while. Ghana has currently been forced to negotiate a new trade deal with UK following the full implementation of Brexit. Ghana currently has a duty-free, quota-free deal with all countries in the EU market.
George Poe, Corporate Affairs Manager with Golden Exotics, joins me for a conversation on this. Good to see you on the program tonight. We'll come to the impact of this tariff charges on your operations, but I just wanted to find out first, if you've made any transactions today, what has been your experience? I think we have to unmute, sir. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, sorry.
Great.
Sorry, thank you for having me. Yeah, so the shipment that we did towards the end of last year arrived yesterday at Portsmouth, and we cleared them. They were subjected to tariffs.
And so what has changed in terms of the charges?
No, we will have to pay the tariffs before we clear them, because we have to deliver the goods tariffs paid. And this is totally different from the hitherto situation, which was a quota-free, duty-free situation. So we are coming from zero tariffs to now to pay for £95 for each ton, which translates for us to around $2 per box of bananas. And so that makes a huge difference for us, because our margins are only around 40 cents per box.
And so tell me a bit more about how Golden Exotics is affected by these charges.
The understanding we have is that the UK and Ghana are very close to reaching agreements, and the feeling is that the decision should be arrived at very quickly. If that is the case, we have reduced volumes to ensure that the impact is not significant. That will not be too much, but if it continues for a while, that will be pretty difficult, because it will affect our competitiveness on the market, which means that we might lose market share. And we supply some of the top supermarkets in the UK. And these are businesses we have developed very expensively over a long period of time. And we don't want to lose market share.
So the report that just aired before we came to you mentioned the fact that local firms fear that they're going to be less competitive because of what is happening right now. Can you explain that further? Why you feel that you're going to be less competitive with the onset of the tariffs? And what are you hearing from your counterparts who also export to the UK?
Well, I think in Africa, I think 3 countries export bananas. That's Cameroon, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. Cameroon and Ivory Coast have already reached a deal with the UK where they continue to export duty-free, quota-free. So this, for the period that this situation continues, we will be disadvantaged because we will be paying tariffs. So that's where the competition issue comes in.
Great. And I'm just going through, I think, reaction from Fair Trade on what's happening right now. It says that the lack of agreed trade deal with Ghana means banana farmers will face tariffs. And so let's talk about the value chain. How does it affect from production to export now that these tariffs are in place?
Yeah, so, we are one of the largest suppliers of fair trade bananas. Almost all bananas produced from Ghana is fair trade certified. And so that it goes into the niche markets in the UK. So what this means is that buyers of our products will have to pay more because the tariff cost will have to pass on, if it continues. But the understanding is that agreement might be reached pretty soon, so the impact may not be that significant. But what that means is that our buyers will have to pay a little more. And fair trade products are premium products, so it will be already more expensive than the average banana. So if they have to pay extra over and above the premium prices, that becomes significant, and that will go seriously against the volumes that we can sell.
Okay. And so also monitoring the wires, the BBC reporting that some specialist online retailers in various EU countries have said they will no longer deliver to the UK addresses because of the tax changes that we are talking about. So pretty much it's a situation across board. I mean, everybody is feeling the heat of Brexit. And so like you mentioned, we are hopeful that there will be a positive outcome to the discussions that we are told, discussions that are ongoing right now. Is that what we expect?
Yeah, we are hoping that will be done sooner than later so that the impact will be less.
Okay. George Poe, Corporate Affairs Manager, Golden Exotics, thanks so much for sharing with us what your business has gone through today and your expectations as Ghana and the UK discuss how to maneuver this bilateral agreement so that both sides benefit from whatever trade deal that they are able to fashion out. Now, still with trade, President Akufo-Addo is expected to address a forum tomorrow to commemorate the beginning of trading or the start of trading from Ghana to other African countries. Now, ahead of that, people are concerned as to whether or not countries participating in this deal will be able to resolve outstanding issues to do with the operationalization of the Continental Free Trade Agreement, while Executive Secretary of the Ghana International Trade Commission, Franka Jekum, is urging patience. He earlier spoke on the marketplace.
A regional bloc called ECOWAS, where we set certain standards and certain rules, for instance, in terms of investment, in terms of export and stuff like that. But you'll be told, and Dr. Obin will be best to tell you, that yes, while it's easy to enter some countries with your goods, in some countries, it's very, very difficult, even though we've all signed on and ratified these agreements that we've all agreed to abide by. So that it's for us as a people and as countries and governments to abide by the rules that we set for ourselves. I mean, there's no magic wand in saying that one person could come and whip you into place. Once we get committed to doing certain things, we should then see the actualization of it. This demands calls upon political will. You'll be told across ECOWAS that Ghana is a very easy place to deal with because we abide by the ECOWAS regulations in almost all its tenants. Not all the countries do the same. You may ask why. Why is that when Ghana wants to export certain countries or certain countries want to export certain countries, becomes a problem. But Ghana, you come here and you abide by the rules. It's because we are committed to such processes. And we understand that such processes are what Africa needs in its forward march. And so we can only appeal that all of us get in there. But sooner than later, in terms of the African continental free trade area, those who do not sign up to it will be the losers, because the 33 or so countries that have signed up have given the commitment that they want to go ahead. And so we're going to harmonize customs issues, we're going to harmonize trading issues, investment, and we're going to do that. But I'm saying that these things are not done in a day or even in a year. It will take some time. The important thing is for information to be made available expeditiously and timeously to the various players. I mean, Dr. Bin was talking about the specified list and which ones do they have to deal with. These things must be made available as soon as possible once they are ready. But I can understand that even in high offices, some of these things are being fine-tuned.
Interesting.
So it will take time. And as a people, we should know that it's going to take time. Even as we demand on our governments to see that we get the right things done, we should also know that it's going to take time. And I always give the EU as an example. So we should know that we have a long journey to go.
President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, is also calling for more education for traders as the trade deal has taken effect.
Very important if this will take effect, especially when it's starting now. We should know certain information, especially about the sensitive list as against the non-sensitive product as listed. And the rules of origin is the main factor of the pact itself. And so for now, we should be in the know of the products that as traders who will be in a position to trade in. And that is what we haven't gotten. We know the custom to custom thing is very important, it's very essential. Otherwise, things will come in before they will say you have to be cleared first, whether it qualifies within the rules of origin. So it is still very important. These things haven't been communicated to us.
To some COVID-19 news, Ghana has strengthened its airport restrictions due to fears about a highly infectious new COVID-19 strain. President Akufo-Addo announced in his latest address to the nation that all arriving passengers who test positive for COVID-19, asymptomatic or not, will undergo mandatory isolation and treatment at designated health facilities or an isolation center. Now, the isolation will be for 7 days at the cost of government, and all passengers who are in isolation will undergo a repeat COVID-19 test within 24 hours of arrival, with the cost also borne by government. Let's listen more to what the president had to say when he addressed the nation Sunday night.
As of 1st January 2021, a total of 712 positive cases out of 118,278 tests conducted have been recorded among international arrivals at the Kotoka International Airport. Indeed, the month of December alone recorded 387 cases. The positivity rate among international arrivals rose from 0.26% in September to 0.93% in December. These developments call for strengthening of the existing protocols to prevent the spread of the disease in Ghana in light of the new variant of the virus. Therefore, the following measures will be implemented in addition to existing guidelines on international travel for COVID-19 in Ghana. 1. All arriving passengers who test positive COVID-19, asymptomatic or not, will undergo mandatory isolation and treatment at a designated health facility or isolation center. The isolation will be for a period of 7 days at the cost of government. However, the final discharge of cases will be based on existing case management guidelines and protocols. 2. All passengers who are in isolation will undergo a repeat COVID-19 test within 24 hours of arrival, with the cost also borne by government. This test will also include genomic sequencing for COVID-19. And 3, all passengers who test negative for COVID-19 will be required to adhere continuously to COVID-19 safety protocols and will receive regular information on COVID-19 within 5 days of arrival in Ghana. I want to assure all Ghanaians that the testing regime in place at Kotoka is among the strictest in the world, and as certified by the Food and Drugs Authority, it is capable of detecting this new variant of COVID-19, which is plaguing other nations around the world. Fellow Ghanaians, in update number 20, prior to the Christmas.
All right, President Akufo-Addo addressing the country Sunday night. Kojo Pong is an aviation analyst. He joins me to discuss this new development. Great to see you. Happy New Year, Kojo.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Darren.
Great. So no doubt an important step to take as we are noticing a new strain of COVID-19. But the fear is it is further going to discourage more people from traveling just to think about the stress they may have to go through. Now, that's no good.
Yeah. Actually, already there's a lot of misgivings in the travel industry due to the lockdowns and the restrictions. Actually, right now, as it is, the forecast is for the travels to actually the industry to bounce back like third quarter going, and then we're making some progress actually till the new strain came in, and this has further dampened the the expectations and made everything very precarious as it is now. So this new measures coming in actually going to put a lot of dampening on the hopes that we had of the industry, the travel industry, the airline industry picking up and coming back to its pre-pandemic numbers. So it's no good news, but then it's for the best actually, just to hope if this is go as supposed to go, and then the numbers and the cases and everything come down, then later on everything can pick up. Yeah.
It's for the best. I like the fact that you point that out. We don't know how long this would linger, but how would it further affect the recovery of the already battered aviation industry? And I guess at this point, people or stakeholders may have to revise their projections for 2021, or is it too early?
Actually, the forecast was a bit dire, but now it has become very like becoming, because we're hoping, like I said earlier, at least by third quarter, but now it looks like it's going to enter into 2022 because already the main reason for the low figures in the travel was due to the lockdown, and then the consumer confidence. Now people actually who have to travel actually now a bit reluctant to travel, due to all these restrictions. It's just going to make it worse. The airlines have reduced their fares, but still people are not traveling. All the things that the airlines are trying to do to make sure that people come on board now. The people who are actually supposed to now come on board are now the ones pulling their legs. So it's just going to make things a bit more dire for us.
And you know what? It was actually a good season, the last 3 months of last year for the domestic aviation space, especially during the period of the elections and the U-tide. And some analysts were projecting a brighter 2021, and as the restrictions are eased. And so it looks like even the domestic airspace is not spared, because we're expecting tourists to come as the restrictions were easing. Now they also have to revise their projections.
Exactly. Actually the bouncing back of the industry actually begins with the local tourist industry. So you realize that whilst international flights were being hampered, the domestic flights were actually gaining more prominence, because it started with the borders are open later on, but before then they have to open the internal access. So what's going to happen is that even though it's up and down, and then the projection was supposed to be earlier, now just going to push further. Ghana actually right now has the tightest, like the two-tier restrictions that testing that we have. You have to do your test 72 hours before you come in. When you get in, you do your local test as well. So this also make people a bit reluctant to travel, and then also the closing down of the beaches and then the other tourism destinations also making it difficult for tourists to actually, book and come and enjoy our tourist destination. So this also, in a way, making the tourist industry here very, stifling. Yeah.
That's pretty grim. Keep watching the space for us, Kojo Opong, and we'll certainly come back to you if there are any new developments. Thanks for your time. Promasidor Ghana Limited, manufacturer of cowbell milk, is forecasting a double-digit growth this year, saying it is optimistic the year 2021 will bring more growth for the business. The company, which was able to surmount the impact of the first wave of COVID-19 to register a marginal growth in the bottom line, says it has repositioned its business to be able to cope with the pandemic going forward. Festus Tete is managing director. He has been speaking with Joy Business.
So basically, COVID also equally created opportunities. It also taught us, today we can hindsight say that it brought out our resilience as a business. And we did everything to make sure that we never shut down. With incidents of people, our people having COVID, to the difficulties in logistics, we learned round to improve. We looked at our policies, our inventory policy, for example, and had to quickly change that to ensure that we took into account the changing lead times, no matter how fluctuating that was, to make sure that we kept the business running. So those sets of lessons, I believe that we'll take into 2021. And for us in Africa, even 2021, I believe that COVID will still be a major player for us. I believe that's not gone yet. In the Western world, there's a second and even the third wave. Our borders are open now. And so the incidence of COVID will be there. The vaccines are not enough for the West. I'm not too sure how soon we will be able to do that. But I don't see us even being able to vaccinate our population until into the fourth quarter. So for us as a business, we're looking at 2021 as if COVID still is in place. And we would still leverage the lessons that we got from last year, this year as well.
Going forward, how will you position your business to tap into new areas and benefits?
So one of the things I'll say is that on an operations level, we care about the environment. And as a business leader, one of the things that we look at is jumping on an aircraft for planes and meetings. One of the things COVID taught us is a virtual way of having meetings and having them successfully. Most of our board meetings, we had virtual, something we did not do in the past. And so we were able to do all those other things, not really physically moving. So that's one lesson we learned. We had contingency plans where we could have people work from home. Working from home is another thing altogether. And these are, I believe, that opportunities that we can leverage as well. For our industry specifically, I would say for our consumers, one of the other things we've learned is to optimize our bill of materials, we had critical thinking to see how can we still deliver value at affordable prices to the consumer, which is our core focus as a business.
Great conversation there with the Managing Director of Promasidor Ghana Limited, Festus Tete. Welcome back. Some news from the insurance sector. Serene Insurance, a subsidiary of the First Sky Group, has met the new minimum capital requirement for insurance companies a year ahead of the deadline. The deadline, which is expected to be extended to January 2022, requires that insurance companies increase their capital from 15 million cedis to 50 million cedis. Chairman of the First Sky Group, Eric Sedi Kutoche, speaking at the group's 18th annual Thanksgiving ceremony, outlined some successes his outfit has chalked despite the business disruption posed by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Through it all, the group has witnessed immense growth, translating into the birth of 6 main subsidiaries and still counting, with a total strength in the excess of 2,760 employees, both permanent and casuals. We are thankful to God that when the pandemic sent the most resilient of the economies and companies trembling, resulting in a massive layoff, The First Sky Group did not lay off any single staff, despite the difficulties. Even in spite of all this, last year the group reached another milestone with the help of God, with one of the subsidiaries, Serene Insurance Company Limited, was fully capitalized 1 year well ahead of the deadline of the National Commission for the Insurance Companies in Ghana to meet their minimum capital of 50 million. A year with COVID, yet God has been faithful to this group because of our heart of thanksgiving.
All right, that's it for Business Live. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching.